Hey everybody, Chef Kimber Dean. I'm really excited to make this with you guys. So we're gonna make my carrot cake recipe. It is dairy and gluten-free. It is really, really yummy. It's my favorite cake, so we'll go ahead and get started. This is really fun for Easter or just anything during the springtime. We have our coconut sugar. I'm gonna beat this with my olive oil. This has water in it and vanilla extract. Just want to add that to our sugar, and then we will blend that here. I like to use this hand blender. You could use a KitchenAid. I would probably use that if I wasn't doing a video. You can use the whisk attachment, maybe the 2-whisk, whatever you like to use, and just start it slow so it doesn't fly everywhere, and get it to a nice medium high or high beating. I did forget to mention, preheat your oven to 350 before you get started with anything else, measuring ingredients, pulling anything out, just make sure that oven is hot. So that started to bring all of this together. It started to break down the coconut sugar, and it started to bring this into a nice fluffy mixture. I'm gonna add the eggs one at a time on low. Once they all get incorporated slightly, I'm gonna turn it on medium high again and beat it for about 2 to 3 minutes just to get it really fluffy. And we really want the coconut sugar to break down. It does not break down as easily as cane sugar, so it takes a little bit longer, and you just don't want that gritty sandiness in your cake. So we'll get beating here. That looks delicious. And the coconut sugar gives it a really nice caramel smell and flavor. So we're gonna put this to the side. We have our dry ingredients here. We've got brown rice flour, arrowroot starch, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, baking soda. I make my own baking powder so it doesn't have cornstarch in it. Sea salt, and I think that's everything. So go ahead and check out the recipe in the description if I forgot to name anything off. And we just wanna mix this, whisk it together, just incorporate everything. You could add like a half to a teaspoon of turmeric if you wanted a little bit more anti-inflammatory benefits in this cake. If you wanted to do a vegan egg, you would want to do the flax meal and water because it's a cake. You want a lighter egg. You don't want it to be really dense. It's gonna be dense, more dense than regular eggs. So you would probably do for 1 egg, I would say a tablespoon of flax meal to 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. It's gonna be your binder, but you do wanna make sure that it has that lift and that fluffiness. We're gonna use our hand mixer. If you wanted to do this by hand with the whisk, you could as well. Just slowly bring a little bit of this into our wet mixture. And we just want it to incorporate without flying everywhere. That's why we just wanna do a little bit at a time. It doesn't have to be fully incorporated. We just want to start to mix it in, and then we'll get all of it in and make sure it is all incorporated really well. And we'll just add the rest of this. So I like to do a third at a time, and I go pretty quickly. I don't want to overbeat this cake with the dry ingredients in it. I just want to get it mixed in, and then I'll wipe down the sides real quick before we add in all of our other yummy ingredients. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It smells so delicious. I smell the ginger, the nutmeg, the cinnamon. You could always do different ratios for which flavors you like the best. You could take one of those out if you don't like them. Just make this cake yours. Oh, it's beautiful, the perfect cake. Okay, and then from here, I love raisins, so these are optional. You do not have to put raisins in. I just have a sweet tooth and I love raisins. We're gonna chop, well, let's go ahead and add our carrots first. So I grated most of our carrots, organic, already pre-washed. Just gonna show you, you could do, I did the largest size on my grater. You could do smaller if you wanted it really incorporated and maybe not seen as much if you have picky eaters. So we'll just take one of these guys, and I just make sure you don't get your knuckles. It hurts really bad. Hold it on an angle and just try to get as close to the top as you can. I love these for stocks, or I feed them to my chickens. tops are even good in smoothies if you just want to put a little carrot in there. Grab that. And then for our pecans, I have 2 cups here. You could do walnuts, you could do a totally different nut. Hazelnut would be good. And you just want to lightly chop them. We're going to use 1 cup in the cake, and then we're going to save a cup to decorate the cake. I like a rough chop for in my cake. I might do it a little bit more chopped for the decorating of the cake. And that looks like about a cup. Perfect. So I'm just gonna gently mix this in, just folding it as I move my bowl. It is beautiful. Okay, so I got 2 different pans here. I just want to show you guys, you could use a spring pan or a regular cake pan. Both of them have their benefits. This one, you know for a fact it won't leak, but it can be harder to get out. This one, if you have any holes or the pan's bent like mine, you could have some cake spill out. I just have an olive oil spray here. I'm gonna grease my pan. Make sure you spray it really well, really get the sides well. I always tell my employees, you know, I'd rather you spend 10 extra cents on pan spray than ruin a whole cake that doesn't come out and rips and we have to start all over with that labor and those ingredients. Spray it good. I'm gonna use some flour or starch, whatever you have around that works. And we're just gonna start to, again, get the sides. And it's just a nice dusting. You could do more, you could do less. Again, just gently getting the sides and the bottoms. Perfect. Same size pans, and then I just want to do half and half here. So I'm gonna eyeball it. If you wanted to actually measure it out, you could. Try to move somewhat quickly. We don't want this rising and then falling as we're moving it and transferring it. I'm gonna try some. Okay, so these are perfectly evenly prepared. I just kind of gently made them flat so they bake evenly. Oh my gosh, I know that has raw egg in it from my chickens, but I don't care. So my oven's preheated. I'm gonna throw these in. We're gonna start with about 31 minutes. We'll go to 34 if we need to. More if your oven is different than mine, less as well. And then we'll take these out and I'll show you what they look like all baked. My timer just went off, so I'm gonna check my cakes. I'll pull them out and show you guys, and then we'll get letting them cool. So this one had thinner sides, thinner walls, so it's gonna be done a little bit quicker. That's the thing, if you use the same pan, they'll bake at the same time, but it's good for you to know that if you have 2 different ones. And then I'm just taking a skewer, I'm pushing it in, it's coming out clean. So I did the 31 minutes, and then when you touch it, and it springs back like that, you know that that's ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple more minutes on my second cake, and then we'll pull that guy out and check it. My second timer just went off, so I'm gonna check my second cake now. So I can already tell this is ready. I turned my oven off. It smells heavenly. It's so good. So I'm gonna first press and it jumps back at us, and I'm gonna use the same skewer, just the other side. And it comes out clean. We're gonna leave these in the pans. I like to put them on the rack because they can cool quicker with the bottoms having some airway underneath them. And then after 15 minutes, I'll show you how we take them out of the pans, put them on the wire rack, and then we have to let them cool completely before we can ice them, or the icing will just melt and run all over the place. We'll be back soon. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I'm gonna take these out so they can cool quicker because I really want carrot cake. It just smells and sounds delicious. We're just gonna take the edge, cut that cake off. This is the spring pan, which I find easier to take out because you can just, I like to do it from the top. So I just kind of push from the bottom, lift up, And then you can let it cool on this pan on the bottom, or it should pop right off like that. I'm just gonna let it cool upside down. I'm probably gonna let both of these cool upside down. This one, same, go around the sides. It's still pretty hot on the bottom, so use a pad if you need it. And then we're just gonna do the same thing here. You can see they're so pretty. They're still really, really warm. If you wanted to take another wire rack and flip them, you could. I'm just gonna let them cool like this. They're really dense, they're really moist, and they're really delicate. I just don't wanna mess with them and break them. I want them to cool completely. So I'm just gonna put these to the side. You could definitely put these in the fridge. I've done that before, especially at restaurants when you need to last minute, and they'll be just fine if you need to cool them quicker, but I'm just gonna let them cool on their own, and then we'll be back to ice these. With Reese, and what are we making, do you remember?
Icing.
We're making cream cheese icing. We love this icing. It goes great on cake, cupcakes, whatever it is you're making. Reese is gonna help me. So we're gonna get started. We have arrowroot starch in here. And then Reese, can you pour in the cream cheese? You can use the spatula if you need to. I love this Miyoko's cream cheese. That's what we're gonna use today. It's made out of cashews, so it's dairy-free. Again, we're making a dairy and gluten-free cake, carrot cake. But we just want to keep this as healthy as possible and have it so as many people can eat it at our party as possible. Reese has got our cream cheese in. She's now gonna get our room temp or softened coconut oil. We don't want it melted, but we do not want it hard. So you just want it to be soft, room temp. Reese got our coconut oil in there. Now we're gonna pour our maple syrup in. You could use honey. I just like maple. It's a little bit smoother with icing and it spreads a little bit easier. All right, beautiful. And then I love this vanilla bean extract mostly because it's in agave. It's not in alcohol. But it also has those vanilla bean specks, and I just think that's so pretty in anything you're making with vanilla. All right, we got our hand mixer. I'm a little bit scared to see how this goes with Reese, but we're gonna figure it out today. So first, we wanna start on low so it doesn't go everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we'll slowly beat it a little bit higher. So Reese, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hold on to the top. Just wiping down the sides, and she's gonna finish blending. Just make sure that all the lumps and clumps from that coconut oil and the cream cheese are all gone and everything is really smooth. Ready? I'm gonna try a little bit because I love this icing. But again, it's really, really smooth right now because we left our cream cheese out. So if it was a little bit colder, it would be a little bit thicker too. So you gotta play with this icing when you use it. If you're doing cupcakes, I would probably put it in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes, mixing every 10 minutes so the outside's not harder than the middle or like turning into isolated coconut oil. But this is so good.
Oh, I saw some lumps.
Oh, it tastes like regular cream cheese icing. It is so good. I am back and everything is ready to decorate our carrot cake. We have our cooled cakes. This took about 2 hours to cool out of the fridge. Again, you could put it in the fridge. And then my icing I had in the fridge, I brought it out about 20 minutes ago. So it was in there for about an hour. If you needed to thicken it up, you could always add more arrowroot starch or maybe do less coconut oil or that cream cheese. Either one will make that a little bit stiffer if you need that. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I am no cake decorator. This is not my specialty. If you need that, find a different person to follow on TikTok. But we're just gonna do a basic cake decorating. So I have my glass stand. If this was my restaurant, I always decorate on the table or on something else before I transfer it into the box or the cake stand that it's gonna go on, so it's not dirty and messy. But this is for my house. So we're gonna start with it on here just for fun. I'm gonna do just a tiny bit of that icing, and this is gonna spread in the middle. Again, you don't want a ton, you don't wanna make the base of that cake kind of dense and wet. And we're gonna take our cake and we're just, this one, I'm gonna flip over. So we'll gently put it on there and that just helps it stick. Try to put it right in the center. I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. And that's pretty level. We're gonna go ahead and just level this out here. You could save these scraps for bread pudding. You could take the rest of this icing with these scraps and make carrot cake bites if you wanted to, or cake pops. Just get that as flat and as even as I could with a bread knife. I'm gonna just add a dollop of icing on here. We're just gonna spread this flat. So we have a nice even layer. You could add some shredded coconut in the middle, more raisins, carrots, nuts. And then there's several different tools. If you like to spin your cakes and get that crumb icing going, you could use one of these. I have several different shapes and sizes, offset, not offset, spatulas to do this. I love smaller ones. I like having that control. You just want to push here from the middle out, and that'll keep any cake from pulling up. It'll make sure that the middle doesn't have more than the edges. We usually want to have the edges that have more. Oh, it's already starting to look so beautiful. Okay. Put the second one on top, and this one actually baked really uneven. Ooh, whoopsie, I'm not a professional cake baker, and there's a reason for that, but it's gonna taste delicious. I'm gonna try to make it so that it is level. I'm gonna put this on, level it out, and then just keep icing. That's my cake. I'm just gonna take some pecans here and cover up my dirty edges and just kind of put them on, rub them all over the sides. This just helps me make it look nicer than it is, because again, this is not my forte, but I do love sharing cakes with my friends and family that are healthier, just so they know there are options out there and that taste delicious, right? That's so fun. You could sprinkle cinnamon on top. You could do coconut around the edges. You could do whatever you want here to make it fun. And then this goes in the fridge for an hour just to cool completely, and so that coconut oil can solidify and the icing doesn't just kind of come off of the cake. So I'm gonna throw it in the fridge and then I'll show you more when we get back. Our cake is out, it is ready. I made this one really impatiently because I am busy today and it takes a long time for cake to cool. So it's only been in the fridge for about a half hour, but it looks perfect. To me, it's a little rustic looking. I would have had this much more cleaned up around the edges if I took my time and was patient, but I just wanted to get this made for you guys. So it looks so good to me. I'm just gonna go ahead and slice into this. Look in there, you can see that beautiful moist cake. Oh, it looks so good. You can see the layers in there. And again, I'm really excited to try this. Oh my gosh. Carrot cake is my favorite cake. And when I first started cooking this healthy over 20 years ago, there was nothing like there is today. The cream cheese made out of cashews, that was not a thing. It was so hard to make icings. So I just feel so blessed to have these brands out there that are wanting to make a difference and making my life a little bit more fun and yummy. I hope you guys like this recipe. Let me know what you want to make next. I hope you guys have a great Easter. This would go great as cupcakes if you wanted to do that. I would cook them for probably 26 to 30 minutes. making this icing just a little bit stiffer, but it would pipe or spread really easily. Again, I love cooking and baking for you guys. Like and subscribe. I hope you have the best spring season. Let me know what you want to make next. And can't wait to cook for you guys again.